Be a very open individual, no pretension, no paranoia or anything.
After eating and sleeping and maybe having sex, what else do you really need to do? You need to go out and dance, you know? For me anyway. And I think if you didn't have that, life would be so dull.
Yeah, rhythm section changed my life. Like, so I've got to be like, no, but it has changed my life. It really has. Like.
For me, like that rhythm section and World Unknown are the two like best parties in London, and you can go. Well, it's kind of the same people playing every time. You know, World Unknown's Andy and Joe. Rhythm section's always Bradley and a guest. And it's not about the DJs; it's about the people that go to those parties.
I didn't really have a clear idea of what I wanted rhythm section to evolve into when I started it all. It's this whole thing has just been a kind of hobby that got way out of control. It started as me collecting and playing records, then I had enough records to want to share with people, so I did some radio, and then I got to know a lot of people, so I wanted to host a dance, and then people started coming to the dance and I got more new music and I needed to put it out there on a record. So it's been a very kind of organic growth so far.
With him, he's actually really kind of taking the record label thing seriously and like giving the opportunity for musicians and producers that he really likes, whether it's going to Australia and picking out some people there, or whether it's working with people like Henry Wu or, you know, all that Al Dobson Jr., that crew going on. He's really supporting musicians and doing a proper record label, and that's amazing.
I'm not sure if people know or people don't, but like all the music that's been released on Rhythm Section is just Bradley's mates. It's just like release your mates' music, and if it does well, it does well. And it just so happens that a lot of our mates make really good music.
We just moved to London, and we're on the train. And I saw him on the train, and I was like to Louis, like, isn't that like that dude from Boiler Room? Louis like, yeah, that's that guy. And so I was just like, oh, you know what? Like, I'll go talk to him. And so I just like went over and just like sat with him and started chatting. And he's like super easy to talk to. And we just like started talking. And he told me about how he was throwing this party on New Year's Eve called Rhythm Section.
And they ended up moving to Nunhead, and then to Peckham. And we just became good friends.
So good.
SE15 is a philosophy for sure. Like behind everything we do, there's like one common subject or trait, and that's Peckham, and that's South London. You know, like I think the philosophy is taking a small community within South London and projecting it to like a worldwide audience.
Show me what you're made of.
We've got these three records, which I kind of refer to as the Peckham trilogy. Rye Lane Volume 1 by Al Dobson Jr., which kind of was the first record and kind of summed up the vibe on Rye Lane in some kind of way. He was living on Rye Lane at the time. That's obviously where the party is. And I live just around the corner, so it made sense to call it that. And then we have these two, which kind of came out almost at the same time. One a kind of soundtrack to the morning, one an ode to the night. So there's two logos, the main kind of hoops and the secondary one, which is the men holding hands in a square, which is borrowed off the Southwark Council logo from the 80s. It had always kind of been there and I never really noticed it, and then when I had the Mood Hut guys over to play, we were just leaving the house and Jack J just goes, "That's cool." And it just twigged, and I just kind of had to use that.
I was DJing at a club called The Block, which is a really great place, which has got a renowned sound system. And he travelled all the way to Israel just to listen to the sound system. He had to wait till the end of the night because he wanted to talk to the engineer about the mixing desk they use. and because the party continues, it doesn't stop. So it kind of, I started DJing at midnight, and I didn't finish till about 9:30 or 10 in the morning. So he had to wait till 10 o'clock in the morning to be able to wait for everyone to leave to actually look at the mixer. And I thought that was quite impressive. I thought that was a real commitment to the cause.
The party, I've been trying to do a party like that for 15 years, man.
I managed to start it kind of from the ground running because it was a local dance for local people in the most inclusive way. And it could rely on a kind of community energy rather than having to book big names in order to bring people down.
With the rhythm section, it is all about the crowd, and Bradley has like facilitated that crowd. And people forget as well, like Canavans is now like quite a well-used venue, but when he first started doing it there, it was a total like dive bar. He's created that vibe which doesn't exist too much in London, where it is about the party and about the people that go to the party as opposed to the club and who's playing. And because we don't really have a club where you can go, like after Plastic, there's no.
It is a new Plastic People, I think. I mean, not the club in
I don't
general,
know.
but the actual club night. You know, it evokes a Plastic People vibe.
Yeah, I can't think of any other clubs really where there's a kind of core group of people who are there week in, week out, who've made friends and stayed friends through the dance. And that's really nice. I think maybe that was what Plastic People was for a lot of people back in the day. But as for my generation, it would just after that, maybe caught the tail end of it, but couldn't say we were there in the beginning. I think for our generation, you know, this is what I'm at least attaining to do.
And the crowd's open. I think that has a lot to do with the fact there's a big like art school community down there.
Yeah, definitely.
Because those kind of people are more open to maybe hearing something they're not used to. Doesn't have to be 4/4 the whole time.
This one, by the late great Nina Simone, which is probably one of my favourite records that I've ever played in rhythm section. But you kind of have to treat it with respect, you know? There's the track on here which you probably know, Cinnamon. So it's like 12 minutes long, kind of epic ups and downs, and it breaks down into hand claps. And then there's just the piano, and then the screaming comes in and the dancing. And if you play it at the wrong time, you could just kind of kill a party, but timed right, this has provided quite a special moment. So I often pack the record, but very, very rarely play it.
It's all vinyl. I don't really take out my vinyl with me to DJ that much. I mean, I'll take a few, but you know, like it gives me the chance to like pull out some bits. And I remember I played in July. I got delayed and like coming back from somewhere. I just hadn't really sorted my records, and I literally had about 3 minutes to like get in the yard and get together a selection. I kind of just threw a bunch of things in the bag, and I mean, I don't want to like big myself up enough. But it went off, like, and you know, but that is the thing, it was just like...
This isn't your promo video, it's Bradley's.
But you got to throw in your own thing.
Yeah, no, shit.
Like, glad you wouldn't be famous about me, man.
I got involved with Boiler Room just about a year and a half after it started. I got a call from Tristan saying, do you want to come into the office, get involved? And it was like, that was one of those moments. I rang my mum like trembling, like, Mum, I just got offered like the coolest job ever.
Yeah, he's got enthusiasm. He's just got raw enthusiasm, and it's infectious. And you know, he's noticeable as well. You know, that was. I mean, you know, I was thinking about him just being on camera and Boiler Room, and he's polite, and, you know, courteous, and you know, popular. Like people, you know, gravitate around him, and he's got good music taste.
He's got brilliant hair as well.
And great hair. But it's a bit annoying when you're behind him.
Yeah, when he's fucking dancing.
It's actually really annoying. It's like Bradley.
He's got that thing, hasn't he? He's got that thing. I love it when he's DJing. He really, he's got his little bounce.
So if you walk into a party or you walk into a dance and the DJ's dancing more than anyone in the crowd, like of course it's going to make you want to dance, like, and that's again the philosophy behind it is like, just let yourself go, just enjoy it, like do your thing. It doesn't matter if you can dance or if you can't, or if you want to, just do it.
I think dancing is kind of like praying, isn't it? There's something very similar from going to church and going to a club, in that people are congregating together to kind of lose themselves to some higher force that they don't really understand. And yeah, at its best, it is a spiritual experience.
Bradley's presence is euphoric, number one. It is euphoric. He makes everyone have fun. I don't know how you do it. Superpowers. Some people have them.
He's a great energy, and you want to be with him, and he's got that magnetism, and I think that's quite important if you want to be a successful DJ.
I think he's good at, like now with the way the internet kind of facilitates different scenes around the world, he's got quite a specific sound of what he's into, but he finds those people in different places around the world who share that same kind of sound but have their own twist on it, and he's good at like searching those people out and befriending them and going like becoming part of that scene.
Been lucky enough to kind of go to the source and meet the people who are like defining a certain sound or grew up with a certain sound that's like almost alien to someone who grew up in the UK is like an incredible thing to be able to do. So I can go to Tel Aviv and meet like the likes of DJ Hectic or Zach who runs Fortuna, and it's this whole world of sounds and melodies and rhythms that I never knew existed, you know, and these guys know everything.
Fortuna Records live from Tel Aviv!
It was quite an eye-opener to play places like Cairo, for example, where you don't know much about the history or any existing scene or what people are into there, and kind of quite life-affirming to see that people, no matter where they are, kind of essentially we're all the same, you know, and there's a core kind of need to kind of, I don't know, express yourself in a certain way. If you're growing up in a war zone and you're used to, you know, huge riots and uprisings and bombs being dropped as like almost a daily occurrence, then dancing and expressing yourself and having fun has a different meaning. It's hard to realise that you're part of a movement until the time's passed and you look back, you know? And I don't think what we're trying to do is particularly contemporary. It's not a night or a label that focuses on a new sound. It's a night and a label that focuses on a kind of togetherness, a community. And I guess what matters to me and what I want people to remember it as is a time in their life when they felt they were part of something special, part of a community, part of a movement, not defined by any one thing, but defined rather by all the individual parts coming together.